In the market for a new job, but not sure how to stand out to hiring managers. Sarah joins us now with 3 hacks to make sure your resume gets all the attention you want. Sarah, this is such a good idea to do this segment because there are so many people right now looking for work, many who haven't done resumes in a long time. You've got great tips to make sure that they get noticed, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of having a resume if it's not going to get noticed, right? So the first tip I have for everyone is to have what I call a 5-minute keyword party. So here's what this is. Before you do anything to your resume, I want you to take a look at a job posting that you're interested in and go through it and search for some themes and some keywords that are there. And here's why you have to do this. Before your resume actually gets looked at by a human being, there's a really good chance that it's going to get scanned by software. And if you don't have the right keywords, it's a sorry about your luck situation. So the way you do this is you go through this job description you're interested in, and you see if there are some themes that emerge. I call this theme hunting. So you're going to see, is there a word or a phrase that's repeated a lot that's a core competency for the job? Is there like, are they saying the same thing over and over again in different ways? That's a theme. So you collect those themes, usually about 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 of them. And then you write those all down. Usually it'll be like 1 word, 2 words, 3 words. So like really short things. We're not talking about copying a paragraph. You take those things, you get really clear about what they are, and then you pepper them through your resume. And it sounds really simple, but it does take your resume to the next level.
Okay, good tip. Now, you say the days of an objective or profile section are gone. So what should we be doing?
Yeah, that section is a little bit outdated. So if you don't want to date yourself, you're going to replace that section with something else. Usually that section is kind of like bland and vanilla and boring anyway. So I want you to replace it with something called qualification highlights. And a qualification highlight section is sort of at that same spot at the top of your resume, but instead of like writing a really bland paragraph about really wanting this job or being an excellent employee, you're going to put 5 or 6 solid bullets highlighting the most relevant experience that's relevant to the job. So this is something you're doing new for every resume you put out for every job, but you can do it really quickly because you already know what 5 or 6 things you should focus on based on those themes that we were looking for in the 5-minute keyword party. So each of them should be a bullet in that section. They should be really short, really punchy. And the reason we want to do this is we want to serve up the sexy stuff at the beginning of your resume. You don't want the person looking at your resume to have to sift through it to see that you're a really good catch. Like, think of your resume kind of like as a dating profile. You want to serve the really cute stuff up front. So this section will help them see the best of your relevant experience right away.
Okay, so just not to put you on the spot, but can you give me an example of what a punchy qualification line might look like at the top of the resume? I haven't done a dating profile like ever, so it would be difficult for me to figure that out.
Yeah, so it could be depending on the job you're applying for. So it's something that you pull from the job description and reword. So it might be something like 12 years leadership experience in communications teams of 20 plus people or something like that. So really short, and it like really like highlights. So that's why we're calling it qualification highlights. You're not going into detail. You're just knocking off some really good stuff right away.
Oh, I love it. Great point. And your next point is really interesting as well. And I love this one because the same advice should go into emails. You say cramming in too much info is not a good idea for your resume, right?
Yeah. People think that they should pour all of their experience into a resume. And actually, guys, that works against you because, you think you're being sneaky. You think you're being sneaky by doing a smaller font or, making smaller margins. But actually what you're doing is you're making it harder for the person to read your resume. And your job is to make that sucker as easy and as pleasant to read because on average, the first time someone scans your resume, when it's in front of a human for the first time, they only spend 7 seconds taking a scan through it. So you actually have to have adequate white space. You have to have a font that's reasonable. You have to have margins that don't make them work too hard. So formatting actually psychologically and with the eye makes that document easier to read. So you want things like a 12-point font. You want things like a reasonable margin. You want enough white space that it's easy to read, and you want maximum 2 pages. Oh, and also, you want bullets that are actually bullets, not paragraphs. So the bullets should be in the regular part of your resume. Your bullets need to be max 2 lines. So no bullets masquerading as paragraphs, because that makes it hard to read.
Yeah, if anything, I mean, especially nowadays, people are on Twitter. It's like, you know, everything's got to be short and concise. And if there's too much, your prospective employer is just going to want to take a nap. Sarah, thank you. You have such great advice all the time. Always good to have you.